Now to the trade talks that have been the focus of investors all week. The president today said that he wants a deal that's good for both the U.S. and China, and he added that he still plans to meet with China's President Xi at some point. He made those comments after 2 days of high-level negotiations in Beijing that wrapped up. And that's where we find Eunice Yoon again tonight.
Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer are on their way back to the United States after their 2 days of talks here in Beijing. The two capped off their visit with a meeting with President Xi Jinping. According to state media, President Xi said that the trade negotiations would continue in Washington next week and that the two sides had made important step-by-step progress. Secretary Mnuchin had also tweeted out that the conversations here were productive. The two sides were reportedly focusing on hammering out a memorandum of understanding that could act as a framework for a meeting between Presidents Trump and Xi as early as next month. But before anyone gets too excited, the back chatter is that the two sides are still at a stalemate. The Chinese are more focused on narrowing the trade gap with bigger purchases of American goods, such as chips, but there's been little progress in some of the thornier structural issues, such as state subsidies. President Xi flagged the challenge himself, saying via the state media that China is willing to adopt a cooperative approach to resolve and promote an agreement acceptable to both sides. However, cooperation requires certain principles. That line is being interpreted that China has its own bottom line. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Eunice Yoon in Beijing.